I am going to tell you how I am planning to take the strategies from the largest companies in the world and create a niche for my YouTube channel with content that I think people will like and watch. I have a ton of ideas of what I can talk about, things that I think will be interesting and entertaining for the viewers. But I'm afraid that if I do all of them, it's gonna feel a bit loose and not that well thought through. I need to decide on a niche, and I believe that the tools and methods that I have learned by doing service design for large corporations will help me do that really effectively. Finding an identity on YouTube can be really challenging. I've seen examples of channels that are just basically about a guy that picks up rocks in his surrounding area and he looks at them and he makes really cool videos about the composition of those rocks. I've also seen the other route of someone that makes a general, I don't know, gaming channel and makes a killing out of that. So should we go for that narrow niche or a wider topic to meet more viewers? I think intuitively it's quite easy to see that going that gaming channel route can be too wide, and it can be hard to reach through the noise of millions and millions of gaming channels with your content. Unless you're a particularly charming individual, I think it can be difficult to sort of get through. On the other hand, if we look at something like the geology channel that I mentioned earlier, that really requires you to be quite interested in that topic, and you need to know a lot, have a deep knowledge about what that is. And for me, maybe I have something like that, but it sure isn't geology. So how do I come up with a niche that is narrow enough that it will be interesting for a viewer, and it's also interesting and wide enough that I can make a lot of content? What we need to do is we need to find a niche that gives us excitement and that is interesting to our viewers. I believe that the way to do this best is to look at video creation and the delivery of videos to an audience as a service. By looking at it as a service, we can use really effective, already predefined methods for finding a good niche based on service design methods. When I work in my day job as a service designer, I work for companies, and my job is to figure out how we can take what they offer and we can package that and we can design systems, software, processes for that company to deliver that service really well. So my thinking is, naturally, when looking at starting a YouTube channel, how can I take those processes and those methods and transfer them to the process of creating good videos? And I want to apply those methods to creating a good YouTube niche. But why do we need a niche anyway? I tend to think about niches as a container that brands or people or corporations can fill with valuable stuff so that people can find them. If we look at successful companies, more often than not, they're quite specialized. They tend to do one or a set of related things really well. I've never seen a company do really well if they don't know what's their vision of what do they want to provide to their customers, what do they want to do, and how do they think that they can be the best ones to execute on this. And I think it's the same mindset that we need to have if we want to create good YouTube videos. We need to find what we're good at, and we need to package that in a way that makes sense to the viewer. There are a million good examples of this. I think Nike is one. They are very focused on sportswear and they leave high fashion and jeans to other companies that might do that better. Another good example is Apple. Their high-end products and services that cost a lot of money, to be honest, makes you feel like you're part of a secret club. That's a really strong thing. That's what they specialized on. McDonald's is another example. They have a remarkably consistent product. If you go and buy a burger in Tokyo or in New York or in Stockholm, you'll get the same burger wherever you go. That's their specialization, and that's what they do really well. On the other end of that spectrum, if you visit a restaurant that has, I don't know, a Asian fusion menu, they serve 24 types of pizza, they have 2 pages in their menu just dedicated to cheesecake, and also they have a buffet. Well, those type of restaurants, they don't tend to become large franchises or, for that matter, get Michelin stars. So there is something to this specialization and this niching that make something have the ability to be successful. So I want my channel to be easy to understand. I want someone that comes to that channel and looks at all the videos for 3 seconds and think, oh, I get this. I understand what I will receive if I spend some time on this channel. And then it's really easy for them to make up their mind on whether it's something that they will enjoy or not. But the real question is, how am I going to do this? And I think the clear answer for me is that we want to clarify our value proposition. And it just so happens that in design and in the corporate world, we have a fantastic tool for this. It's called the Value Proposition Canvas. This is a method that business analysts and service designers use all the time when the question is, what is it that we are delivering? What are we good at? And what will people enjoy? So let's do that for YouTube and see if that can bring us some success. As you can see here, I'm just going to bring up this canvas on my computer and have a look at what the different parts of this canvas is. So we have here on the right side a customer profile, and then on the left side a value map. I'm going to take a pile of digital post-its and I'm going to answer 6 questions that I have made up that I think will be relevant for creating a good value proposition for my channel. So first, what am I passionate about? And this could be service design or solving problems using design methods. It could be AI, it could be other things. Then I go to look at what problems can I solve, and I do the same thing, and you can see me here. I've worked a little bit on this, and I go on to answering some questions about what benefits can I bring and what am I good at. Then I can look at my audience and see, okay, what are people in my audience interested in? What problems do people in my audience have that I can help them solve? And then I start guessing, and it's not much more complicated than that. I'm not at all worried about getting this perfect at this stage. I'm also at this stage not gonna focus too much on that customer or audience profile part of this canvas because I don't know much about my audience yet, because I haven't released many videos and I haven't received a lot of views or comments that I can base those assumptions on. Maybe I have some inkling of who could be interested in this, but I'm more likely than not to be wrong, and that's okay. We'll take this and when we have some more data, we can put more into the canvas and verify and refine that customer profile much better. But again, I'm not going to worry too much about it. For now, it's plenty to think about what I am good at and what values I can bring to the table. When I have an idea of what values I can serve my viewers, well, then we can use that as our foundation for a first draft of the niche that I want to do. But again, you can always refine this and pivot back and forth between different ideas, try things out and make sure that in the end we have a great value proposition that we can provide, and that will in all essence be the niche. Now, if I can get some more data, I can start to build that puzzle of who is my audience, what do they appreciate with my content, what can I improve on to make them come back to me even more. Part of that is just producing videos, and I don't have to be too worried about them being perfect. But by doing this exercise, just trying things out, I will get a much better view of what is my niche. We create the value proposition experiment, we try that out, we iterate, and we refine. If I have made a good job at following my own advice and creating a good niche, you will be interested in looking at some more of my videos. Check that out here, and I'll see you then.